Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., home of the Capitals and Wizards, just began its first phase of a massive transformation. And to discuss that and so much more, an exclusive interview with Monumental Sports and Entertainment founder, chairman, and CEO Ted Leonsis. Ted, it is great to see you this morning. There's about 100 things to talk to you about in the world of sports, but do you want to start there?
I'd love to talk about the building and the rebirth of downtown. I think it's very, very important for our cities to be fully developed economically, and we have to get people back into the office. We have to keep the businesses flowing, and we're a portal. We can bring in 3 million people a year, concerts, college basketball, NHL, NBA, WNBA. So I think sports teams now have become this massive meeting and gathering place.
Right. Do you think something's changed? And the reason I ask is, for many, many years, there was this idea that there were these stadiums that would become albatrosses. They'd become tax albatrosses for some, but also just that you were never getting the community really around them. And then you could argue basically in Baltimore was one of the first, when the Orioles built that stadium. That was sort of one of these first real hubs, and then people started doing this around the country. Do you think there's something that's different happening now?
Well, our buildings are very expensive. We have to program them all the time. We have 250 events a year. That's how we bring 3 million people in. And we have 25 years of data. So we're a driver of business, shopping. People go to the restaurants and the bars, go to the parking lots. It's very, very important part of the business.
But what do you think changed? Because you used to be,
I think
around stadiums,
yeah.
they didn't necessarily collect people living there, working around the stadium. It was a different thing.
It's more football. I mean, football has 8 home games, 9 home games. We have, 42 games in playoffs. And so we've never considered we would have an albatross, if you will. We're not as busy during the summer, so we loaded up with concerts. Mm-hmm. The next 3 years, this year, next 2 off seasons, we're building. There's 800 people working 3 shifts and trying to rehab the building, reimagine it, to make it modern, make it a much friendlier, much more bespoke experience for the fans, because the fans are very demanding now. Tickets are expensive, fighting traffic. We have to really think about kind of an end-to-end customer experience. We also have to do it for the players. We also have to do it for our employees. These have become big businesses. I'm here at NASDAQ. This is an asset class. Our businesses now have real gravitas and real repeatable revenues. You have businesses up there that are SaaS businesses. I think our business is very analogous to a SaaS business. We sign long-term contracts. They have escalators in them. About 80% of our revenue in Washington, D.C. Monumental is under contracts. We have a very predictable business.
I had not thought about it from that sort of SaaS business plan.
And the multiples are starting to look like SaaS businesses. They're 6 times on the low end, 14, 15 times on the high end.
What are the risks you worry about most? Because we've seen nothing but higher prices that people are willing to pay for experiences, for tickets. We've seen nothing but higher prices for the sports franchises. But what do you worry about?
We should never take the popularity of the game and competition and the players for granted. We're lucky in that there's something about sports that people crave. It's not just the competitiveness. It's like the only place you can go and here are the boundaries. Here's what's out of bounds. Here's the rules. Here are the officials. You have to respect the officials.
Or rough them up.
And I do think there's this tribalism, this feeling of being a part of something bigger coming. And we really saw that after the pandemic. I mean, I went to the movies this past Saturday. It was the first time I'd been in a movie theater since the pandemic. We came back after the pandemic, sold out, had our best years ever, and people just craved, they missed so much the ability to high five, hug people, be able to emote, be able to be a part of something. And so I think sports is really, and sports teams, what we're building is a platform-like company. We're a tech company. And we have distribution, we have the IP in the teams, we own the network, we own the venues. It's a bricks and clicks business. And so, you know, I think these will become an asset class. And I would expect at some point a bunch of these assets will have to IPO.
Who does it really well in your industry besides you in terms of managing this?
Well, Madison Square Garden started and wrote the book. Now they have many different companies. They put their teams in one asset, their real estate network in another asset, the Sphere. Liberty Media, they own Formula One, which is an unbelievable property, and the Braves, but it's tracking stocks. There's no real pure play public company that you can look at and say, here's what the teams do, here's what the venues do, here's what the network does. That's how we're operating now, like a pre-IPO company.
We got to run, but one last question. As a value play versus where you think multiples and prices are on leagues. So you look at the NBA, you look at Major League Baseball, you look at hockey, you look at the NFL. Where do you, or WNBA even, where do you think the opportunity lies at this point in the ballgame?
Well, basketball is the world's second most popular sport. Over 1 billion people identify that they are very enthusiastic about the game. The players are charismatic. They don't wear helmets. You sit right next to them. I think the move to digital, the move to be global, I think the NBA is talking about expansion. They'll be very mindful and thoughtful. But we're in China. We're in Africa. Africa has the most young people. We're looking at Europe. I think we will be a global platform, and the WNBA will follow. The WNBA is the growth stock. There's more women than men in the world, and I think the popularity that you've seen in the last couple of years has been dramatic, and everyone wants to be in the WNBA now.